Howdy ho everyone, back at it again with another guide. This one's a lot more simple. It's Killjoy on Haven, probably one of the strongest maps for Killjoy overall. Let's jump right into it, simply put. I love to put my turret up here. This is pistol round, by the way. On defense, I actually don't like buying, depending on the map, certain utility with Killjoy, so I actually like doing a deagle. So I do the sheriff here, and I wait to hear the turret. If the turret shoots, I swing, pop, boom. Swing, pop, boom. Somebody grabs the orb, shoot twice. I promise you, it gets a lot more kills than you think. When it's not pistol round, and you have the opportunity to get different guns, or maybe you're on a short buy or something, this is what I prefer. See, I like to put the turret right here at this crack in the wood, facing towards me here. I actually love to put a molly in that doorway, but you have to wait for the doors to go down. I mean, for the wall to go down. Once the wall goes down, throw that there. If you hear somebody come in this door, pop the molly. Beautiful damage, because then they have to extend out, and pretty simple. And obviously, here for main, I love putting my alarm bot here, where the inner circle is not where that belt loop is, and putting my molly where that belt loop starts. So when somebody walks through, if this bot goes off, or if my turret goes off, pop the molly. Alternatively, in some cases, I actually like putting the turret on top of logs, my alarm bot here, molly in similar spot to before, and this molly in this space, because when people walk up, it'll cover that area. I don't mind people going in that spot, as the turret can shoot there, and you can usually get some up from garage. But the main reason I love this is because if you tuck yourself away in this corner, you crossfire with your own turret. People will see the turret, shoot the turret first, boom, you swing, boom. Or you hear both of these, boom, boom. Try to avoid peeking the little cubby here and stay here, but then it works great for peeking cubby, drop back, shoot cubby, peek long. Now when it comes to holding B, I love putting my alarm on the right side, putting the molly in for that inside little crack here, and then my turret here. And if I'm going to hold B, I'm on top of this box. And once again, crossfire with the turret, works really good. People come in, boom. If you think they're going to be aggressive, you can put another molly here, or another molly there on the plant, or another molly here. Point is, you think they're going to rush you, bail out when you hear your alarm bot, pop any two in combination. And it should at least buy you some time, prevent a plant or anything of that nature. Something that's actually pretty cool is Killjoy turret is crazy powerful all overall. Some people like to put the turret up here on the boxes. I actually like to put the turret back here in this corner of the beauty. And my favorite devilish thing is people put the bot here. I actually like putting the bot behind this box a little bit, because it gives me a little more space, and putting the molly a little bit more in front. This way, by the time they come running out, the turret sees them, will guess what they're on top of. Once the turret shoots them, pop the molly, the alarm bot goes off. And the last molly I like to put about here, ish in the doorway. You know, make sure the turret can see them. If the turret sees them, cool, pop this molly. Usually it's a good way to delay a push. And similar to before, you can put the turret in a backwards position here. Take your alarm bot, maybe tuck it a little more back here, so that it pops again, the turret goes off, and then put your molly a little bit in front. And if you want to be a little bit cheesy, you can hide a molly here in that belt loop. See, when it sinks down, it's a little more invisible, really hard for people to see. But overall, you want your turret to go off typically around the edge of your alarm bot radius, so that you can get as much bang for your buck and take away some shields, making a ghost more effective. Now, usually this is my favorite thing to do. This is why I almost always pick Killjoy when we go Ascent. So sometimes I'll hold B with one alarm bot, one molly, and then I'll keep a molly for myself. Something that you've seen a million Killjoys do is simple. Pop your ult in this corner,
my ultimate is ready.
Walk over to this box, crouch, and aim for this ledge right here. And with a squatting throw, it falls perfectly into a wine, which means that entire area is mollied, and usually people have to go all the way into spawn and garden, because that's how far you push them back. Which means if you just go on site when the ult's about to go down and you pop your molly, well, you should get a free defuse every time. I've won more rounds than I can count with that. And obviously, when you're facing an opposed Killjoy, or you are a Killjoy on attack, people love to ult in this corner.
Initiated. My ultimate is ready.
Attacking, it covers everything. Yeah, there's a little free spot on the back of Heaven. Usually you smoke Heaven off, and it's pretty free to go in. People like to stand off here, but this usually almost always guarantees a sight. Always have somebody clear short with you, because it is very annoying when you die trying to put your ult down. And then when trying to retake here on C, it is actually really good to put your Killjoy ult here in this corner. Not this corner with the bar, but the corner next to the ring target. Because when you put this corner, it actually pushes everybody off site into cubby and pretty much clears the entire site, pushing everybody back. So if you smoke here off, you can get everything, you know, you can have somebody push here or buys you time for somebody to flank. It's a pretty simple retake. As far as lineups go, it's pretty inconsistent and hard to get into that tiny cubby. So you're better off just ulting and combining your util to go in. Maybe have a brimstone ult cubby, and that would probably get you some free kills. In terms of Killjoy attacking C, people should really not ult here in cubby. People love to do this, but it gives you all of this space back here, and it really doesn't do much. So if I'm ever going to ult on C, I usually come in with my team, help clear, and then I will do my best to plant on site. Planting here kind of almost guarantees it, but I usually plant the bomb then ult unless I have to do the opposite, and then I do my best to defend. This will buy you a couple seconds. I know it's tempting to ult here. However, if you ult in this spot, it can be wallbanged pretty easily from somebody in garage. They can just ping it, shoot it, and anything of that nature. So it's typically better. Sometimes I have done a Killjoy ult in this position. However, people, if they're fast enough to attack you, they're fast enough to shoot it. But this is a relatively safe spot in some cases. Just remember that it is pretty out in the open, and it's better to hide your Killjoy ultimate. One last major thing to note is that it's actually possible to ult for the B site either in this corner or in this corner, but please remember that you are susceptible to a flank. So it is great for pushing. If you're going to do a quick B, by all means, just remember you got to clear everything out and make sure they can't push your ult back. And last but not least, for a simple B push, I actually enjoy putting my alarm bot behind me here. Usually give a little bit of headway so that it can go off when somebody's pushing around the corner. And I love to build my turret in this position. It'll sometimes catch somebody who's coming out this way. You can put the turret a little farther back, maybe even in this cubby if you're worried about what's going to come through this door and garage. But overall, this turret peeks here in the main and it'll help you defend everything. And if you can play with the turret, it should give you some pretty feet peeks here. But that's pretty much it for that. And one last little quick one. If you're ever going to push A, I love putting the turret here in this corner. It gives me a lot of capability to push onto site. We'll watch my flank, and it lets you go all the way in and plant on the default spots without your turret going down. Usually sometimes you have to plant, and that gives your turret time to go down, and with the correct enemy they might even timing that. So that's kind of a major bummer there sometimes, but that's my favorite place to put a turret to watch flank. And by all means, that's pretty much my small comprehensive guide here on Haven. I almost said Ascent. It's nothing major. Honestly, Killjoy just so high impact on this map no matter what you do. So if you kind of just remember your ult in this corner and your ult on C for the retake, you're pretty much going to be okay. Killjoy's just, there's so many little corners and kind of showcases the strength. That any map with a bunch of little corners, Killjoy can be pretty strong. And I appreciate everybody watching, and I really do appreciate anybody. If you're one of my first, thank you. I am trying my best, and I'm trying to be a little more concise, so hopefully this was a lot better than last time.